I think, it takes a guy like Chapin, a really good player like Chapin, to do well with that list. So, kind of, I'm wondering if we're going to see that at the top tables today, or if people are going to, just struggle with it.
Yep.
So, all right, here we are. There's the table. We have on the left Bryan Bogardt, and on the right Louis Laskin, as you can see.
Is this a mirror?
Well, no, that's a Stoneforge Mystic. That's not a mirror.
Fair enough.
No.
We don't have a panoptic mirror anymore.
There you go. So it does look like it could be something of a mirror match.
Yeah, at least they're both playing blue-white.
Louis Laskin appears to be on the play. Went with turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic and I believe sort of Body and Mind. I didn't see it. It was either Body and Mind or Feast and Famine. I think anybody can agree to that. So Bryan goes with the turn 2 Squadron Hawk.
Search some Razor Boomerang.
There's Bryan there.
It's nice that they're well lit.
Yeah.
I almost felt like the cutaway cameras at Indy were unnecessary because of just how dark
it was. Very dark, yeah.
It's nice that we can see their faces and see their reactions with the cameras today.
Something you can't really control. It's basically based on the lighting at the event site,
right.
And Indy was one of those that just didn't have great lighting. So looks like it's Laskin's turn. He's played a land, and there he is with his MTG Mom sticker. Megan at Holland, mtgmom.com.
There's Bryce in the background there on the left.
Megan's here on site. So I guess he passed the turn, and Bryan goes with a Seagate Oracle. That's interesting. That's not one that we've seen in the typical Call Go or Call Blade lists. But it does seem like a decent play against some aggro decks.
Oh yeah.
I mean the 1/3 body. And Laskin goes with, is that a Mortar Pod? Let me read that. Now that is one of the techie cards that Laskin has, or Laskin and his group have decided to play. For those of you that don't know, Mortar Pod, I'm gonna actually read it to you rather than explaining it. Mortar Pod is a 2 casting cost artifact. It's living weapon, and the equipped creature gets +0/+1 and has sacrifice this creature. This creature deals 1 damage to target creature or player, and it costs 2 to equip. But so it's kind of a Mog Fanatic on an equipment, so he dropped that during Bryan's turn with the Stoneforge Mystic, and sacrificed it to kill Bryan's Squadron Hawk. Now on Louis Laskin's turn, he looks like he's played his own Squadron Hawk and picked up 3. We have the deck lists here, so all right. So let's look at Bryan's list first. And wow, whoa, that's not
way different
than it looks.
Yeah. Okay.
Did he just play a green land? Yeah, that's what we were gonna say. The first card on Bryan's list.
Razorverge Ticket.
Yeah, it's Razorverge Ticket. But the first card on his list is Acidic Slime. So this is quite a different list than we expected. It looks like he played an Explorer as well. He's played another Seagate Oracle. So yeah, this is like a Bant control kind of list. Maybe.
Yeah, I might see it early.
He does have a main deck Wormcoil Engine. So Laskin goes with the turn 5 Jace.
You always gotta love that when someone plays a card and they have to grab it and look at it.
Yeah, when the opponent has to do that, you're about 3 turns behind though. That Mortar Pod's been sitting there now. So
I'm just saying it's funny.
It is great. So Laskin brainstorms with Jace and is in with the foil Squadron Hawk. Is his deck all foil? I'm not sure. It looks like a lot of foils there, but I don't think that Mortar Pod is foil.
No, and it looks like that Plains there isn't either.
No. So it's Bryan's turn. So on Bryan's side of the board, we have it's got 6 lands, including a Razorverge Thicket, which is kind of the unexpected part. And he's got 2 Seagate Oracles, and he just played a Journey to Nowhere on Laskin's Stoneforge Mystic, and then goes with a Stoneforge Mystic of his own.
I guess he didn't want it to legend rule out, right?
Yeah. Apparently, maybe he thinks Stoneforge Mystic is legendary. It's becoming pretty legendary.
Yeah, the price jump is quite legendary at this point.
It's just not actually legendary. So looking at Bryan's list, he's got Acidic Slime, Molten Tail Masticore, Squadron Hawk, Wormcoil Engine, Seagate Oracle, and Stoneforge Mystic as his creature.
Lots of 3-ofs.
Yeah, it's almost kind of a next level Bantish kind of look.
Yeah.
A new level Bant, I guess. A new next level Bant. So he's in with two of the Seagate Oracles to take Jace down to 1 counter. Laskin's turn now. Laskin's side of the board, he has Jace the Mind Sculptor on 1 counter, Squadron Hawk, and Mortar Pod, which is not equipped to anything right now. It had a Germ when it came into play, but that was quickly sacrificed to deal with Bryan's Squadron Hawk. So Laskin in the tank. Did you happen to see what equipment Bryan grabbed? I looked away for a second and missed it. We can't see his hand. It looks like...
I want to say Body and Mind, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's... I think you can make a pretty good bet that it's either Body and Mind or Feast and Famine.
I seem to remember seeing a Body and Mind, that's what I'm saying, but I don't know if that was like something from earlier or what.
Laskin plays a Tectonic Edge, plays a Gideon, and then plays a Basilisk Collar, another piece of tech in his Callblade deck.
Mortar Pod, that is so awesome. Because then you can equip the Collar and the Mortar Pod and start plucking anything.
Yeah, so here's what he can do. He's got the Mortar Pod, which he can equip to Squadron Hawks, sacrifice to ping opposing Squadron Hawks, or whatever else he wants. And then he's playing Elixir of Immortality with some Trinket Mages to get the Squadron Hawks back into his deck. You just never play the 4th Squadron Hawk until you elixir your other 3 back into your deck. Play the 4th Squadron Hawk and grab them again. So you now have infinite Hawks. You recycle the Hawks, you can sacrifice them. You can equip them with Mortar Pod and sacrifice them. It's kind of crazy. They did cut down on some of the counter spells from the stock list. I believe Ben Stark's list had 4 Spell Pierce and 3 Mana Leak main, and they've only got 3 Spell Pierce, 1 Mana Leak, and 2 Stoic Rebuttal for the counter suite. 3 Day of Judgment instead of 4. But as far as equipment, it's got Sword of Feast and Famine main, Basilisk Collar, Mortar Pod, and Silvok Lifestaff.
Not even running Body and Mind.
No Body and Mind in the main deck, and but it is in the sideboard. Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's about right.
I love this choice in the sideboard. Lewis is running 2 Kemba Kyle Region.
He was over here looking for Kembas earlier. Just kind of thought he was joking. So,
is that looks 2 Hawks there at this point?
Yeah, there are 2 Hawks
down there.
Players, this is just a reminder, there is no outside food or drink allowed in the convention center. There is a concession stand that is just out the doors and to your right. And there is also a Starbucks available in the lobby.
So Gideon gets +2. Preordain. Sees 2, looks like a Day and a Spell Pierce. If I was actually seeing the cards he was looking at, and not the cards in his hand.
So, now he just equipped that Seagate Oracle.
Yep.
Well, I looked away for a second. What's that?
I think maybe last turn, because he's untapped.
Yeah,
right now.
I'm sorry, I had to look away for a second, so I actually didn't see what happened. But is that a sort of body in mind? Did you see what it was?
No, I did not.
Okay, so
It is.
Laskin blocks
Sort
with,
of
yeah,
body
it
in
is sort of
mind.
body in mind. Okay, it's hard to tell a little bit with the foils, and of course if you look away and then he just covers up the equipment with the creature he put it on, it's kind of hard to tell. So Laskin blocks with a Squadron Hawk. Jace still sitting there on one counter, allowing Laskin to just repeatedly brainstorm, as he is doing right now, because Bryan can't seem to deal with that Jace. Partly because of Gideon. Gideon is ridiculous just alongside other Planeswalkers. I mean, I know we've known this now for quite a while,
Right.
but it's just...
You can't be stressed enough.
It's funny how a card falls out of favor, and then it's just like people forget about it. It seems like Gideon kind of disappeared for a little while, but it's just all these metagame shifts. And then people eventually forget about a card, and then it comes back and makes an impact. So he looks like he's considering turning the Colonnade into a creature. But no, he's going with another Squadron Hawk. So he's got, I believe, well, that's the fourth one. So yeah, he's got one in his graveyard, one he just searched for, and two in play. We're like hunched over, leaning against the screen on the edge of our seats. So there's Sylvok Lifestaff. He equips it to a Squadron Hawk and swings in. Takes Bryan to, I guess it's going to be 15.
Squadron Hawk, Island, Colonnade, Day.
Are you trying to see his hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Day of Judgment, there's
Elixir.
Elixir of Immortality.
Looks like a mana leak.
So here he goes. Equips the Basilisk Collar and the Mortar Pod. See, this is the other piece of tech.
Yeah.
Basilisk Collar and Mortar Pod on the Squadron Hawk. Now the Squadron Hawk can sacrifice to
And
kill...
he's summoning trapping in response.
He's going to Summoning Trap in response. He's going to get probably Acidic Slime, which is, pretty good pull here. So now he can actually take out one of those pieces of equipment if he'd like. But that's one of the other pieces of the tech that Laskin and crew came up with. See,
Probably take the collar out.
now the
Collar's the biggest thing he needs to worry about right now. Because his creatures can all survive the pinging. You know what I mean?
that
Can't
makes
survive
sense.
with a collar.
But the Mortar Pod is dangerous.
Oh, it's dangerous.
I'm
No
just
question
saying
about that.
whether it survives the pinging or not, the Mortar Pod is actually allowing him to do some kind of sick things. Now I don't know that Bryan knows that
And he's
Laskin
decided to
has.
take
Yeah, he did take out the Mortar Pod. But see, what I was trying to get at was Laskin can equip the Hawks with the Mortar Pod and the Basilisk Collar and take out any creature, gain some life,
Right.
and again recycle the Hawks and just re-equip and do it again. So seems good against anything too big to deal with the Swords of Body and Mind and Feast and Famine.
Bryan is searching up some Squadron Hawks here.
Yeah, we have an interesting point from Twitter. By the way, we are on Twitter at SCG Live. He revealed the top 7 cards off that Summoning Trap. He didn't need to reveal them. So Laskin got to take a look at Bryan's top 7.
Wow.
And
He got
see what
some-
he's going to choose.
Some serious information there.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So for those of you just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco here with Big Head Joe. We're
How's it
Yo
going?
MTG Taps. We're here at SCG's Open Series in Washington, D.C. This is a standard format. We're in round 2 watching Lewis Laskin on the right and Bryan Bogardt on the left, playing a kind of Cargo mirror, except the difference is Laskin has gone with a bigger equipment package, and Bryan has gone with more of a Bant control version, playing cards like Seagate Oracle. He's also got Acidic Slime, which you can see on the top of his graveyard. And Laskin is playing something of an kind of an innovative equipment version of Calgo. Not just the Silvok Life Staff and Sword of Feast and Famine, but he's also got Basilisk Collar, as you can see on the table, Mortar Pod, and Elixir of Immortality, which allows him to recycle his Squadron Hawks. He's also got Trinket Mages in the deck that can tutor up the Basilisk Collar or Elixir of Immortality. So it looks like Laskin just activated a Colonnade.
Sorry, I had to grab my cough drops real quick.
Laskin Fate Seal, so
Yep.
Jace is back up to 3 for the first time since the turn he was played.
Well, I guess he's got what he wants in his hand, and
Yeah.
that Jace sure isn't dying, so probably a good plan.
Well, he just attacked with Gideon, so Gideon's no
Oh.
longer protecting the Jace.
All right.
It's a little difficult to see, but at the bottom of the screen there's a Squadron Hawk equipped with a Silvok Life Staff on Laskin's side. So Bryan goes to equip the Sword of Body and Mind to a Seagate Oracle. And it appears his other Squadron Hawk is equipped with Stoneforge Mystic.
Those are just bro grabs. It's all good.
Yeah. So he's swinging in with everything. Looks like he's deciding who to attack. He wants to. Looks like he's taking Gideon down with the Seagate Oracle, and Laskin blocks with a Squadron Hawk, and gains some life off of the Silvok Life Staff. Jace goes down 2 counters. Lucky he Fate Sealed last turn. Bryan now casts 2 Squadron Hawks and fails to search for his others because I don't believe there are any left.
That's because he doesn't have unlimited Squadron Hawks.
That's true.
I think he just dazed here.
Laskin casts Day of Judgment. I don't know that Bryan knows Laskin has unlimited Squadron Hawks. So there was a Deprive from Bryan and a Mana Leak from Laskin.
That's game 1.
Yeah. Laskin swings in with Gideon. And did Bryan block? Or I kind of missed it. It just looked like Laskin tapped Gideon and Bryan scooped him up.
He dayed.
Oh, that's right.
He went
I'm
day,
sorry.
He tried to
That's what it
deprive,
was.
Mana Leak to deprive.
There was like a
Day
Squadron
resolved.
Hawk sitting on the table. That's what confused me.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I think he was like saying, "I'm just going to swing with Gideon after this to kill you." That's
Right.
what it was. It was just the creatures had not, like, they just didn't even fully resolve the Day of Judgment.
Right, they didn't
So,
really go through the motions. They just kind of showed
That's
the
what
win and they
confused
picked
me
them
a
up.
little bit.
So now we're going on the board here.
All right, so let's take a look. Laskin has free condemn and an oust in his sideboard. 1 Sword of Body and Mind, 2 Flash Freeze, 2 Kemba Ka Regent. Kemba Ka Regent. Now, the interesting thing about Kemba, she works pretty well with equipment. Let's take a look. She's a 2/4 for a white, and 1. Not a bad body for a 3-drop, right?
Not at all.
Not a bad toughness. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a 2/2 white cat creature token onto the battlefield for each equipment for each equipment attached to Kemba Ka Regent. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied there. Don't know that's something he brings in here. I think that's more of a anti-aggro card. Just
Yeah, it's an anti-Boros. It doesn't die
Yeah.
to lightning bolt.
Right. But it's still
Eats up
interesting.
Most of their blockers, or
Something-
eats up most of their attackers.
Something pretty notable.
Continue with it. We have
He's
1
got-
Baneslayer, 3 Divine Offerings, and 2 Ratchet Bombs
So-
in Laskin's sideboard.
He could bring the offering seemed decent because his opponent is playing the Stoneforge Mystic and equipment package. Ratchet Bomb doesn't seem like such a good idea with a lot of it's not it just doesn't seem good. So no Ratchet Bomb. Sword of Body and Mind will probably bring that in. Baneslayer, I think, is a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just another finisher. But
although, honestly, Kemba doesn't seem too terrible.
well, yeah, he does. Bryan does seem to have a lot of creatures. I'm actually kind of not sure what he brings in. Sort of Body and Mind seems like the most obvious, and Divine Offering. Beyond that, I wouldn't be surprised to see Laskin do some crazy things. We've already seen him doing crazy things just with this build.
I would say Bryan's deck is a little more of an unknown quantity, which makes sideboarding, I'm sure, a little harder.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
now let's look at Bryan's sideboard, because Lewis obviously is playing, with some tweaks, but
it's
an archetype that people are prepared for. So he's got 3 Autumn's Veil, which, by the way, I loved seeing someone play Autumn's Veil in the High Tide combo deck.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
that was amazing.
At Indy.
Yeah, that was so great. 1 Thrun, 2 Ratchet Bomb, 2 Leyline of Sanctity, 1 Acidic Slime, 3 Divine Offerings, 1 Day of Judgment, and 2 Condemn. So
I think, obviously, Bryan wants to bring in the Divine Offerings as well.
Right.
Autumn's Veil, I mean, I don't know. Laskin isn't playing so many counterspells, and we really didn't see too many.
He's only running 6.
Yeah,
I think 0.
But
2
I'm
in
saying,
the sideboard, but neither one is running.
How many did Bryan see though? He saw a Spell Pierce. He saw a Mana Leak. I don't know
I think that's
that
it.
he saw any more.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's keeping him honest, right? He knows there are counterspells there, but I don't think Autumn's Veil is something that.
Singleton Mana Leak.
Right, he's got the Singleton Mana Leak, right?
Which he mised for the
That's
win.
true, yeah.
Last
So
game. Very nice.
it may appear that he has more counterspells than he actually does.
Very true.
Thrun, the last troll, seems good with equipment.
Seems good against Mortar Pod.
Seems good against Mortar Pod. I mean, Thrun is a tough creature to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
He is, you can deal with him, but really, like, if looking at Laskin's list, how does he deal with Thrun?
Let's see.
I mean, the best he can hope to do is...
Well, both of his swords are pro-green.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Like, the best he can hope to do is, get the swords and block, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that that's not his plan at all, but he can't hit him with the Mortar Pod. Day of Judgment's not really going to work very well. Condemn and Oust, no good. So, really, it's all about those swords. And if...
I would say that that's true for almost all of Standard right now.
What, with Thrun?
It's all about those swords.
Well, it's definitely all about the swords.
All right, so here we go, game 2.
Right.
Bryan's sleeves seem to be sticking together a little bit.
I like how he's trying to make his opponent think he's playing mono red.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure, or I'd venture a guess and say that he got those sleeves for free.
Yeah.
From being in the Star City Games Players Club.
I definitely loved playing with my Kargan Dragonlord playmat when I was playing mono red.
Yeah.
I was like, no tells.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
So,
All right,
Bryan on the play. Both players just going land go.
Who's going to call first?
Yeah.
I promise I won't do it when they actually... I'm not going to go call when they do it, I
Are
promise.
you sure?
I might, if you really want me to.
No, that's okay. There's a Seagate Oracle.
Holding
so
up mana for Autumn's Veil.
that's interesting, yeah. I mean, Laskin lets it resolve, and Bryan looks like he passes his turn.
He does have the
green
Kemba
out.
in.
Oh, there it is.
And there it
There's
is.
the Kemba. Awesome. I mean, it's so exciting to see cards that nobody's really thinking about, like Mortar Pod and Kemba, actually show up. So it looks like Bryan played a Misty Rainforest, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
Is he gonna? Let's see. I think he wanted to play a Jace maybe, but then he changed his mind. I don't know. Maybe he was just figuring out his mana for that Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, it sure did look like he was trying to tap down for a Jace.
Right, but he saw that Spell Pierce mana up, and I think that scared him off. I mean, maybe we were wrong, but it did look like he was tapping before. So there's sort of body in mind. On Bryan's side of the table, he has the mana to play it if he wants, but obviously, like it seems like a better idea to just hold on to it for now and play it uncounterable with the Stoneforge Mystic. Play it with the Stoneforge Mystic, and therefore make it uncounterable. That is. So Laskin untaps, plays a land, and goes with a Mortar Pod, which of course has a germ attached. Give me a germ, and there's a Rashad germ. Germ with a hat. Nope, looks like he accidentally had 2 germs there. 1 Rashad too many. For those of you just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco with SCG Live, bringing you live coverage of the Washington, D.C. Standard Open Series. Here with Big Head Joe Panuska, we're watching the second round matchup between Bryan Bogardt on the left and Lewis Laskin on the right, playing something of a Coggo mirror, not exactly. Both players have some innovations in their list, including Bryan's list going with a Bant version of Coggo, and Laskin going with a more equipment-heavy version. You can see on Laskin's side of the board, he's got a Mortar Pod in play with a Rashad Germ, and a Kemba Ka Regent, which is a card from Scars of Mirrodin that gives you cat tokens during your upkeep if it's equipped. Bryan Bogardt looks to have preordained during his turn, and looks like he passed the turn back to Laskin. Bryan has on his side of the board a Seagate Oracle and a Stoneforge Mystic.
Divine Offering in response to the Tectonic Edge. So
Tectonic Edge goes to take out the Glacial Fortress on Bryan's side, and Bryan tries to use that mana to play Divine Offering on the Mortar Pod. And it appears Laskin decides instead to sacrifice Laskin decides to sacrifice the Germ to get some use out of the Mortar Pod. So Laskin goes with a second Tectonic Edge, taking out Bryan's mana, and Bryan decides he'll sacrifice a land to get a forest or an island. But Bryan's side of the board is looking a little light on mana. Then again, Laskin's dumped 2 lands into his graveyard too. So Bryan untaps, draws what looks like a Condemn, plays a second Seagate Oracle, and it looks like Stirring Wildwood and something.
I think it looks like Plains.
Either one helps. I'm not sure what he took, but if he plays the Wildwood, I was going to say we might see right now.
Perfect, man. I can just hit you on Facebook. That was funny.
Get anything good on Twitter so far?
Or? Somebody asked if there's a way to watch us on the iPhone, and I actually did find out last week. There is a browser called the Skyfire browser, which plays Flash. It's not a free app. It's like $3, but I was able to watch the GG's live coverage of GP Denver last week on my iPhone. So Skyfire browser, if you want to watch us on an iPhone or an iPad. So looks like it's Laskin's turn, and goes with the Jace.
Goes for it.
Looks like I suspect he may brainstorm. Looks like he's got is that a beta Divine Offering in his hand? He's got one of the old school Divine Offerings, black border.
Was it Legends?
It could be Legends. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's black border Divine Offering for sure. Could be. You know what? I really like the Mirage artwork.
Yeah,
on it,
me
but,
too.
Yeah, you're right. It is Legends. So it appears he brainstormed, passes the turn. Yeah, I think my favorite Divine Offering art is the Mirage art. I'm gonna have to grab some of those.
Bryan just drew another Divine Offering, which is useless now at this point.
Yeah, he's got a Sword of Body and Mind in his hand. Laskin has Spell Pierce mana up.
And there comes Molten Tail Masticore.
Wow, so Molten Tail Masticore on Bryan's side of the board. And Bryan swings in.
Attention Magic players, I need Non-Dip and Ralph Creighton to the event desk, please.
I was about to say, how did that die?
And Ralph Creighton to the main event desk, please.
So what just happened is Bryan attacked into Jace with his 2 Seagate Oracles. All right, wait a minute. Why is that?
I think just the one. I think he didn't realize that.
Well, he blocked. Laskin blocked with Kemba.
Right.
And so nothing should have died, but I don't know why that Seagate Oracle is untapped. I mean, unless he didn't attack with a Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, he swung in with 2 Seagate Oracles.
Did
I
he
saw
really?
him tap them both. I don't know why that's untapped. But anyway, Jace took a small hit. Kemba blocked one, and Jace got hit with one of them. Laskin uses Divine Offering from, looks like the Mirrodin Besieged version, on the Molten Tail Masticore, and then plays a Squadron Hawk, and goes digging for some more. Yeah, on Twitter, we just got a tweet from Beards on Fire, who's been helping us along here. He put the Seagate Oracle in his graveyard. Laskin told him it didn't die, but when he put it back in on the board, he left it untapped. That was just a mistake, and I don't know. It looks like it's Bryan's turn now, so
Not a problem.
I'm not sure how much that affected things.
Sorry, just got a request for some of our new business cards.
Yeah, the Worm Coil Engine tokens we have available for free. Just send us your email address. You can see them on iwantmymtg.com. So yeah, or if you're here, which I don't know how you'd be watching if you're here, so you can come grab some from us here.
Play a Sword of Under the Open Series banner. Oh, Sword of Body and Mind.
Yeah, and equips it to a Seagate Oracle, swings in, Squadron Hawk blocks one. He double blocks with a Squadron Hawk and a Kemba to destroy one of the Seagate Oracles. And Jace is still at a healthy two counters, 2 loyalty.
Gideon in hand there for Lewis.
It just feels to me like this whole match that Laskin has not at all relinquished control.
Not at all.
It seems like Bryan has been on the back foot the entire time.
Lewis's changes to this deck seem really strong.
Especially when people aren't expecting it. So,
Right.
Is that a Squadron Hawk? I believe it is.
Yep.
He is searching for something. So, yeah, and it's another Squadron Hawk. So that is certainly a Squadron Hawk.
Here comes Gideon Juro on Lewis's side. Kills the Seagate Oracle. And here comes a replacement. Ships both cards, it looks like. Or no, he has to take one, so never mind. It's Seagate Oracle, not preordained.
It's interesting. These swords have yet to really have yet to connect this entire match. We haven't seen any
Not
swords
yet, no.
connect, despite both players playing swords.
You know what's a fact though, and I can't say the whole phrase because it's edited for TV, but swords will cut you wide open. That's a fact.
So here goes Laskin with the Stoneforge Mystic.
The foil Infinity Dollar Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had a foil Stoneforge Mystic at one point, but traded it away.
Do we think Stoneforge is going to crack 30? Is it going to go higher than 25?
I don't know. I mean, it's really seemingly everywhere. It's in a small set that had kind of a low print run, World Wake. I don't know. I'm not a good financial predictor, I guess. I'm not good at predicting the financial aspect of the cards. But it seems to me like I would guess that Stoneforge is roughly at its ceiling at this point. I think pretty much everybody wants it right now. That's why it's so high.
Yeah.
And, once people start deciding to play maybe some different decks, it's not going to... It's going to drop a little, or, it might stay where it is. I just don't see it going much higher.
I mean, it's been a while since we've seen a $25 rare.
That's true. Yeah, I mean...
in Standard.
It's pretty nuts. So what just happened was...
Divine, yeah.
Yeah, well, Stoneforge Mystic grabbed a Basilisk Collar, I believe, and then Laskin played it, and Bryan used Divine Offering to get rid of it. Bryan plays a Preordain, resolves.
I think he's been holding the acidic slime. Has he been holding the acidic slime this whole game?
You know what? I haven't noticed. I don't see one.
I think he has one.
Okay.
I think he's looking for that second green sword so he can drop it down.
Could be.
Oh, he's got the second green sword. What am I talking about?
I didn't see. It was a glare on that. So maybe he's just waiting for an opening.
And he's probably just preordating.
There hasn't been a lot that he's wanted to hit. I mean, that he hasn't already taken care of with like Divine Offerings.
True.
It was a Mortar Pod and a Basilisk Collar. I don't know that he really. I mean, he could want to take out some lands, but it seems to me that Acidic Slime is not there with the primary intention of destroying lands. I think it's there to take out equipment. So. Bryan swings in with a Seagate Oracle. And Laskin is... Oh, and the Stoneforge, I'm sorry. Didn't even see that. And Laskin decides to block each of them. Takes out the Stoneforge Mystic with Kemba. Kemba, who has not yet been equipped. Or
yeah, I know, right?
Has not yet been equipped during Laskin's upkeep anyway. So there is the Divine Offering from Laskin for Bryan's sort of body and mind.
Steamrolling towards the inevitable here, it seems. Now he is holding like double condemn right now. So
yeah.
So Gideon tries to come in with Gideon, tries to be cute.
Yeah, Gideon could be in some trouble. Although Laskin would get a nice little life bump. He's at 27 now.
It's true. I think he just drew a Trinket Mage.
Yeah, it looks like it.
No, there's Trinket Mage.
It's a foil
Scars
of Mirrodin Trinket Mage, and he decides he's going to play it. Does it resolve? Yes. So now, does he grab? What does he grab? He can grab an elixir. It looks like he's grabbing. Yep, there it is. And I think I'll play it. So, what do you think of that?
I think I'll go to Infinite Life and shuffle all of my creatures back.
Yeah.
And my equipment.
And those condemns aren't so attractive when he could just shuffle that Gideon right back to the top when he.
Yeah, that's true.
But not that really is accurate, but
Yeah, I know what you mean though, for sure.
There's a lot of searching going on anyway, so there's a lot of shuffling. So it looks like Laskin is
getting ready to attack.
Really, he's just coming in with pretty much everything. besides colonnades. So he's like, okay, condemn your. I assume that was at Gideon and not
Yeah,
Squadron
he's got
Hawk.
Stoic Rebuttal in his hand, though. He's
Yeah,
letting it happen.
he says, okay, condemn
I'll
my
take
Gideon.
6
That's
leg.
fine. Condemn for
Kemba,
Kemba.
probably.
Yeah, seemed about right.
Lets that happen.
Kind of surprised he let Gideon die, although Gideon may have just got hit with the second condemn, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah.
looks like Bryan took 2 damage from Squadron Hawk and Stoneforge Mystic. But that's quite a lot less than the Gideon and
Go
Kemba.
that way.
So now Bryan,
That's not even all the Laskin gain, though, is it? Laskin?
he should have gained
Because he was at 27, right?
10. Shouldn't he have gained 10 from that? What, condemn?
Condemn is toughness.
That's what I thought. So yeah, he was at 27.
He was at
should have
27.
gained 10, I think.
So he should be at 37 life?
Yeah. But Laskin, well, it looks like Bryan came in with the Seagate Oracle and the Stirring Wildwood to hit Laskin for 4. And then Laskin sacrificed the Elixir of Immortality to gain 5. We're seeing that he has. Now it looks like he should be at 38, shouldn't he?
No, well,
Didn't he get hit with the Stirring Wildwood and the Seagate Oracle?
Ah,
That's what I'm thinking. He should be at 38, but Rashad is checking on that now. So Laskin's now got a full deck again, and he played a Squadron Hawk and is going to grab the others. Here we go with the Infinite Squadron Hawk package. Does he get 1 or 2? You grabbed 1. Yeah, he put the second one there. I guess he's saying, okay, I'm just getting 1, and I'm gonna search. I'm gonna play a Stoneforge Mystic too. So no reason to search. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I thought I saw a second Squadron Hawk for him to go for. But either way, he looked like he searched for 1 Squadron Hawk, and then played a Stoneforge Mystic to grab a Mortar Pod. So. Looks like he passes the turn. So Laskin's side of the board is 2 Squadron Hawk, 2 Stoneforge Mystic.
there's still a Jace on the board, too.
Yeah, Jace hiding there under Washington, D.C. I believe, I don't know how many counters he's on. It looks like maybe 1, but there's a glare on it, so. There's plenty of creatures there, though, to protect Jace, so. Unless Bryan can deal with those, Jace is going to stick around for a bit. There's the Acidic Slime. While Laskin has, like, Infi mana up.
I know, right?
So, Stoic Rebuttal on the Acidic Slime seems good.
End of turn, flashes into Mortar Pod. Or Stoneforge.
Yeah, Stoneforge flashes in the Mortar Pod. Yeah, that's right.
Vials it in.
Scotty Mack from the A-Team podcast, he said, does this call for Leonid Arbiter with all this searching? I don't know, maybe it calls for Archive Trap. I mean, this is exactly why Flores is advocating Archive Trap and Pyromancer Ascension. So Laskin brainstorms. Laskin drawing a crowd. I think it's the Mortar Pod that may be drawing the crowd.
I was trying to
Is
read
that
the
a
card.
Mortar Pod?
What does that card say? Let me see.
Laskin says, yes, that's Mortar Pod.
He's going to go for the Gideon again. He sure
There is the Gideon. Man, Bryan just is like playing
He's sitting there holding up a Seagate Oracle. Let's do this!
Just struggling with just a Seagate Oracle. Sorry, Brian Kibler just asked if there is a chat for SCG Live. No longer a chat. Kibler, you're going to have to tweet at us at SCG Live.
Any of you who are not on Twitter,
you're missing out.
incorrect.
Yeah, that's the
Get
wrong
on Twitter.
play.
Talk to us all day at SCG Live.
So there was a Day of Judgment from Bryan, and Laskin spell pierces it. Sounds like John Medina won his second round because the person he played, his opponent, just tweeted that he lost. So Seagate Oracle comes in and looks like it was it blocked and then mortar potted? Kibler doesn't like the loss of the chat. Kibler, you're fine. You're tweeting at us. That's exactly what you need to do. Kibler, are you feeling better? I know he wasn't feeling well earlier this week. He top-8'd last week.
Yeah.
With strep throat. So
that's fun.
That's
not
it's
fun.
impressive
Right there, what's happening to Bryan. That's not fun.
Wow. So no more Seagate Oracle. Day of Judgment gets spell pierced, and Laskin then decides to alpha strike, swing in with the team. He's basically explaining, I have enough mana to take you out with Squadron Hawks and Mortar Pods. It's like, I'm just going to equip Squadron Hawk, sacrifice it, equip another Squadron Hawk, sacrifice it, probably equip some other guys, sacrifice them. I'm going to kill you right now, so might as well.